welcome today. If this is your first time joining, we are the Goodnight Shop, the podcast. In our group, we talk about all the things that you don't necessarily need to talk about, but you want to talk about. It's not about being divisive. It's not about being controversial. It's just about having a good time with your friends, with your girls, or anybody, really. Everybody's welcome.
Everybody's welcome. It's a cozy podcast.
It's a cozy podcast.
Cozy podcast. I love it. We're winding down. We're in our jammies. We're in comfy clothes. We've already done our skincare. We're hanging.
We're hanging. Makeup free.
That's right.
This is what we look like
in
real life.
Only way to be. I love it. And if you're just listening and you're not watching, then good for you.
Good for you. You are missing out on some
fantastic looks.
Fantastic hairdos over here.
Yeah. Is there anything better than taking off your makeup at the end of the day, though? It is. I crave it.
Me too.
Like, I crave it. About 2-3 o'clock, I'm like, oh, to the point where, and I know we've talked about this on previous episodes, but we're road warriors. We travel. I now travel with makeup remover wipes in my car.
Ooh, I could see. Sometimes I want to get to the hotel and feel like...
Check in and be cute still?
You know
okay,
it.
I got you.
I
got you. I feel
but
that.
I think of having the wet wipes or whatever, the makeup removers in my car all the time.
Yeah. If I went with like a light, natural look, I can definitely sit with it and leave it a little bit more. But those days where I like get in and I like was full face foundation, whatever, more important meeting, whatever I felt like I needed to button up or like a red lipstick, I am in the car and I'm like smearing, I am getting it off, especially even if this is how ridiculous it is, even if I'm going straight home instead of to my hotel and I'm going to be home in an hour, I still will be like, well, I got to take it off. I can't wait an hour.
So I think of that for my skincare, right? So as you can see, I don't have the clearest skin. Yes. It's like it's confused and thinks we got stuck at 15.
Forever battle. It's like being in your 30s with acne sucks. Sucks. It's
like if I hit menopause and I still have pimples,
oh my God.
I'm gonna be furious.
This was not the agreement when I was 13.
No, I was like, oh, this is puberty. I'm going to overcome it. In fact, I feel like my acne got worse after I graduated high school.
Same.
Right? And it could be because I didn't wear a lot of makeup in high school. Like, I was actually, like, not one of those girls that wore a ton of makeup. Yeah. And so maybe that had something to do with it. And then in college, maybe I wasn't as good with taking it off as I should have. Mm-hmm. But I definitely, I got the pimples.
It's a forever battle. My sister had it worse when we were in middle school and high school and now has fabulous skin, is now like cleared up. And I never had it as bad in school and now I'm paying for it years later. It's very annoying. Yes. But I do feel like when you're younger, there's like this unspoken like, oh, it's just hormones. It'll clean up. It'll clear up. And I'm like, it did not for me. It's a forever battle. And mine is always on my chin.
Yes.
And people always tell me, oh, it's hormones. And then I'm like,
So what am I supposed to do with
that? So I'll work on getting rid of those then.
Right. Where is the pill to get rid of the hormones? Right. I'm with you.
Let's just clear that up. I don't need any of those. Let's remove all of it.
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. It's an ongoing battle and you got to laugh about it. You got to find the products that are good for your skin.
You do.
But now I am a stickler for taking my makeup off before bed.
100%. I will not sleep in makeup now. Even if I don't do my full skincare routine, I cannot sleep in makeup now. And I do remember, I cringe that I used to fall asleep full face makeup.
Full.
Disgusting. I think about that now and I'm like, gross.
So gross. So many clogged pores because of it.
Clogged pores.
I also have, there is like a satisfying feeling when I use a lot of the makeup remover oils.
Yes, like the cleansing creams.
The cleansing balms and stuff that really...
Which I love.
I love. I don't think anything takes off your makeup better than that. Mm-hmm. And then I'll do like my actual wash after that. But when I do the first layer of either the oil or the cleansing balm and I can see the makeup in the water.
Oh, it's so satisfying.
It's so
like, satisfying.
Oh yeah, clean that face. Clean that face.
It's so satisfying. Yeah, because I mean, they always, like dermatologists always say, taking off your remover, or excuse me, taking off your makeup does not count as washing your face.
Agreed.
And I did used to just take my makeup off and be like, okay, I'm good to go. And now I feel like I cleanse my face like 2 or 3 times before I do the rest of my skincare.
Agreed.
Like I need the water to run clean.
I agree.
Yeah.
And afterwards, I use a toner.
Same.
I use a toner,
Same.
and because you have to do a little bit of makeup down here,
right?
Like I get the whole sink wet.
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
I really clean
and
myself.
all down to the boobies. Like again, only not old enough to have the boobie wrinkles yet. You know, especially I talked about on another episode how much I love to lay out. Like I need the sunscreen all over my chest, and I do notice like it will. You can see it. I feel like your chest can show your age.
Oh,
quicker
sure.
than your face for some women. So yeah, absolutely. All that extra skincare, I'm like bringing down. Absolutely.
And your hands. Don't forget your
Yes,
hands.
back
For
of
those
your
of you
hands.
moisturizing, do the back of your hand, because sometimes you see those ladies that have like all the Botox and they look 20 years old, frozen in time, and then they bring their hands up and it's like,
exactly.
Let's lie everywhere.
Exactly.
Not just right here.
Exactly.
Right?
You have to make the lies match, you know?
You have to make the lies match.
Yeah.
You have to put the sunblock on the hands, put the moisturizer on the hands, the whole 9.
I love it. If any of our listeners or followers have skincare tips or dermatologists, any of expertise, I love it. Please leave it.
Absolutely. We are big product junkies, so we're like, oh, try this new product? Yes, I will.
Yes. 100%.
Do I have 3/4 of everything else I've bought? Yes, I do.
Yes.
Yes, but that one's different. I want it.
Exactly. It has one ingredient I need. Done.
Done.
Oh, man.
Niacinamide, I think, is the newest one that I've added. I don't even know if I'm saying that right.
What is it?
I don't know. I don't even want to say it again in case it's wrong.
Okay. I haven't heard of it, so
yeah. So I went to the doctor recently, and she was like, "Oh, you need to use toner, right?" And I usually use the witch hazel.
Oh, you shouldn't use that.
Why?
Apparently, it dries your skin out. I'll send you. I follow this dermatologist, this like skincare guru, and she says the witch hazel toner is not good for acne prone skin.
Fantastic. I heard the opposite.
This is the problem.
This is the freaking problem.
This is the problem. I have the same thing. So I literally like went and cleared out all of my witch hazel toner, and it was even a joke because like Target or somewhere stopped selling it, and people went back to this woman because she went viral with her advice. People went back and was like, I think you just single-handedly closed this company down.
No.
Because everybody stopped buying it for a period.
Well, not me. I buy it.
So you buy it.
So I buy it. And so the doctor was like, she basically said that when you wash your face, at night you should definitely double wash.
Yes.
Because the first one takes off the makeup and the second one actually washes your face. And then you need toner because unless you have like the best filtered water coming through your sink, it's hard water.
And it like restores your pH.
You got it.
Yes.
The toner is going to restore that pH, and that you need that in order for all the other crap that you're going to put on your face to work.
Yes, I've heard the same thing. So I think that is the intent of it. Another weird piece I've picked up is with toner. I used to like put it on almost and then wash it off, or like put it onto a pad and then like kind of rub it on my face. Apparently, you're supposed to like splash it on or spritz it on and just leave it.
The what? The toner? And you used to rinse it off?
Not rinse it off, but I used to put it on like pads that I would just like wipe it on my face. But then I would like take a dry pad and then like dry it out.
Oh, okay.
And you're supposed to just like put it on or splash it on or spray it on and leave it. So now I kind of like pour it into my hands and just like pat it on my face and leave it and let it dry.
So I got something from one of my subscription boxes, and it was 3 big pads. I'm almost certain that you have received the same.
Yes, like the puffy, and they're like black and gray.
And white?
Yes.
I'm obsessed.
Love those things.
I'm obsessed.
Oh my gosh, I love those.
I had it under my sink a year. Right? And then I was trying to get rid of all these bottles.
Right.
And I found it, and I was like, you know what? I think I'm going to do my toner with this.
Yes.
And I love it.
I love it too.
It
I've
is
never
a
done my
game
toner
changer.
with it, but I will try that. But I do love those.
It lets you like it's because my fear, like with cotton balls, is like the product is expensive and you put it on the cotton ball,
you waste some,
and you put so little on your face, and then you're looking at this drenched little cotton ball, and you're like, damn it. So I kept thinking that those little pads were going to be even worse. Well, not at all. I put barely any on it. And I think it's the fabric itself.
Doesn't absorb it.
You got it. And then you put it all over your face. And I'm like, my whole face is wet. Whereas I felt like with the cotton ball, I'd get one part of my face really, really wet. And then the rest wasn't.
Exactly.
With these, game changers. I put it and I can go down my neck. I can do love him.
We'll try to find the name of those, and we'll put them in the little description here, so in case you want to go find them.
Yeah,
but those are great. I think what they're intended for is just, they're one of those, and I'm doing such a horrible job. I don't know. I wish I knew the name of it, but they're one of those pads.
I have them downstairs.
There you go. That you just put water on them, no product, and you can take your makeup off with them.
So this one's not that.
These are different?
Yeah, because in the back, I read them finally. The black one is supposed to be to wash your face. The gray one is for the toners, and the white one is for serums and lotions.
So they're even different.
Just so that you don't mix the product.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I've gotten the same packet twice now in the subscription box. Oh. So I rotate them, and then I throw them in the wash. They come out nice and clean, I just go back. Yeah. I'm obsessed.
They're fantastic. They're fantastic. I haven't used them to put product on before. I'm going to need to.
I haven't done the lotion, and it's probably because I still feel like
it'll waste
so much product.
Yeah.
But for the witch toner or the witch hazel or whatever, I'm like...
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I now like the toners that come in spray bottles, so that I just spray it on after my face, and I just leave it, or after washing, and I just leave it for a sec.
Yeah. You know what that reminds me of? Those, like, little sprays that are meant to, like, refresh you.
Yeah, who the fuck does that refresh? What is that? Now my face is just wet.
Exactly. And I always think, like, wait, I did my whole morning routine, and then I did my whole makeup, and now I'm supposed to just spray myself to refresh myself?
It stresses me out.
It stresses me out. And... I've bought all of them.
Same. Oh, same. I could go get multiple.
I'm like, oh, this is going to refresh me in the middle of the day. I want it.
Yeah.
Do I ever get to using it? Not once.
No. It's one of those waste products I never actually use.
It is.
Yeah. Do you, after you put your makeup on, do you set? Like spray the setting spray?
I have, again, 1,000 different ones. Morphe's Mist Setting Spray. There's nothing like it.
Really?
It's a mister as opposed to a sprayer.
Ooh, I like that.
Which is my problem, because I tried the MAC one, I tried the Smashbox, I've tried all of them.
Yeah, yeah.
Right? Because you do your makeup in the beginning of the morning, you go on site with a client, you're with them for 8, 10, 12 hours. When you get back home, like, I didn't go to the bathroom once, I didn't check out my makeup once. Awfully. I once got back into the car. I mean, I was feeling myself when I got to this site, right? And I was presenting all day.
I know where this is going, because I've had this happen.
All day. And I talked to so many people. Women. So many women that I talked to this close, right? Because people have depth perception issues, right? And, like, they were pretty close to me. And then I get to my car, like... feeling myself, just had a great day. I get into the driver's seat, I look at the rearview mirror, and I'm like, how long has my eyeliner been down here? Where it's like black. And I'm like, no one had the decency to be like,
this is what drives me crazy. Why? And it must be, I think I've had people explain to me that it makes them uncomfortable, and that's why they don't say anything, because it's like, if you have something in your teeth, or you have lipstick on your teeth, I'm going to tell you, and please God, tell me.
I don't care if I'm walking down Macy's and there's a woman walking and her tag is off, like, in the back. I'm gonna be like, oh, excuse me, your tag is out.
You're a hero.
I don't care, because I know that you're gonna be like, oh shit, like you're gonna have like a second of like, oh crap, like, and you're gonna fix it, and then it's gonna be a non-issue.
Yes.
Instead
Yes.
of getting home hours later and being like, man, how long has my tag been out?
Exactly. And it is especially bad at work because you are a professional speaking to others, and it's like, why couldn't somebody just say, hey, oh, when you get a chance, you're just going to go run your eyeliners running? Just is that simple.
Hey, you may want to go check your makeup.
Yes.
As simple as that.
Yes.
But after that incident, where I am not kidding, it had gotten into the creases. I mean, I looked like I was doing some cosplay makeup of The Nightmare Before Christmas, just like black. It was like absurd. I, A, threw away that eyeliner, and B, went on a total spree of, I have to find the best setting
spray. Yes.
So I did all of them. And the thing is, like at first they're great, and then eventually they start like really like spraying out droplets.
Yes, exactly.
And then you have like weirdness, like weird texture. You got it. So anyway, this long freaking explanation to say that somebody recommended the Morphe Continuous Mist.
Okay, I'm going to try this.
Game change. I have it downstairs. You can absolutely try it.
Okay.
It goes off like a little mist.
I love it.
It touches your entire face lightly, and then you hit it with a little bit of a fan. I'm a big fan of fans. And I'll just hit it with a fan, and it sets beautifully, and then I do my mascara.
Okay.
Because my eyelashes are too long, so they'll get stuck to the setting spray.
Not a sponsored ad, by the way,
No.
but we will tag. We'll tag the little pads, and we'll tag the Morphe setting spray, because that sounds phenomenal.
The best.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
And it's like you can tell as you're putting it on, you're like, oh, this is different.
Oh, I love it.
Oh, this is different. And it sets my makeup better than anything I've ever used.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And you'll see in some of our other videos, I get real oily. And I don't have oily skin, but after a while, I start getting a bit oily.
I hate that feeling when you have something, foundation, concealer, whatever it is, and you're oily on top of it. Oh, there's nothing grosser. And we live in Florida and Georgia. And so the humidity, like
we get moist.
Moist.
We get real
like
moist.
those oil blotters, key.
Absolutely.
I always have those in my purse.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I also have, Revlon has this rock. It's like a little, they call it the volcanic rock, and it comes in what looks like a little lipstick, and you're supposed to be able to like roll it on your oily spots, and it picks up the oil.
Really?
Yes. I'm just awful, and I never use it, but I have it in my purse.
Does it work?
I've never used
You've never used it.
I think Vanessa got it for me, and I was like, oh my God, this is fantastic. And I'm sure I've used it like 1 or 2 times, but not in front of a mirror checking to see if it works.
Okay.
Right?
I'm going to give that a try.
I know. But the Morphe spray comes in like the normal setting spray, and it comes in matte.
Oh, I love it.
So if you're extra oily, definitely worth checking out the matte version.
Do you get the matte version?
I have it.
Okay.
I use the other one because I'm a creature of habit, and
Gotcha.
I like it so much that I'm like, I'm gonna use it. You know it. I'm gonna use this one, and it's not gonna work. So
This is the other issue with the new products. Like, you have your go-to mascara. Every female has their go-to mascara.
What's yours?
Mine is the Maybelline Bambi Eye. It used to not be called the Bambi Eye. I'll show it to you, but it still always comes in the same container, but it's Maybelline. And it used to be for years, all through high school, the L'Oreal Telescope mascara.
The pink and green?
No, that's everybody's. That was everybody's, and that's still my sister's. I hate it.
I do too.
I hate that mascara.
No hate. But to me, it's too clunky and clumpy. And
it's too clumpy.
I
don't like
a
it.
nice, sleek mascara.
Same. I'm the exact same. So the Telescope literally was that, right? Like, it was supposed to be like long, thin. That was their whole telescope. I remember the commercial so clearly. And so it was that for years. And I've just switched recently to the Maybelline, 10 years ago, to the Maybelline one. But that's the problem with trying a new product, is when you're getting ready and you're like, okay, I look great, I'm going to finish it. you can't risk a new mascara in that moment because what if it ruins your whole look? There's no undoing it.
None.
And so you almost have to try these products on, like when you're home or getting ready for bed or whatever before you go wash it off. It's just so I'm always too scared to try new stuff when it matters.
You know, that's so funny because I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Like, so my mascara is the Thrive mascara.
Oh, I see. I love
Have you
that
tried
mascara.
it?
Yes, I love that mascara.
Everybody, when I wear that mascara, people are you wearing fake eyelashes?
Oh, it's the best compliment.
Right?
I love
it's
that.
the best. So I'm always like, absolutely, like the best. Anyway, it's also kind of weird because when you take it out, it's kind of goopy. So you just have to like, take it off.
It's almost like tubey, like
yes,
yeah.
yes.
I know, what
absolutely.
You mean. Yeah.
So,
the cleansing balm works great on it.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Honestly, I love it because just water will really
take it off.
off.
Risky.
True, risky. But I got I think it's called They're Real from Benefit. I love Benefit.
Oh, I love
Benefit. And I was like, and I look at it. Every time I finish my makeup, I look at it.
Same.
And I'm like, is today the day I'm trying you? Mm-hmm. And so I don't.
And the answer is no.
The answer is no. The answer is I'm going to use the Thrive mascara because I love it. But the other day I was getting ready to come here and it was sitting there and I thought, I'll just put it on real quick to see if it works. And if it doesn't, I can wash my face and just redo my makeup. And I liked it.
Yeah?
I do. I liked it. As a if I don't have my Thrive, I have to use that one. I like it.
Oh, I love it.
Is it going to replace Thrive? Probably not.
Probably not.
Probably not.
It is so hard to break off your regulars.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's when they stop working as well as they used to that you're more willing to say, okay, well, now I'm going to really commit to this other product.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. It's amazing how much eyeshadows and brands and everything, they really make you can get two identical colors and they really go on and stay on so different.
So different. I agree.
Oh my
I
gosh.
also hate it when I buy a palette of eyeshadow, which I barely use anyway. But if I'm using a palette of eyeshadow and I like a color.
Yes. And then you have to bring that damn palette for your color.
Because I wanted the pink with the shimmer and I'm like, and the other 24 colors are useless to me because I don't wear really bright colors, right? And so I wish I could just like pop it up.
Pop it out.
Pop it out. That would be super helpful, especially for people who travel.
Right, exactly. I just want to bring that color.
Ideal.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
I think Mac is somewhere being like, we do that.
I know, and I know there are companies that do that. Yeah, that you can buy They even have the cool like magnetic cases. Some of them where you can just choose your color and you pop it in and out of your magnetic case.
But guess what? I don't have a color that I want with one of those magnetic cases.
Exactly. I want the pink
color that goes on my eyes, especially like that one palette.
Yes, exactly.
So
okay,
it is what it is.
A half hour in, should we get started?
Yes, we are gonna get started.
Where's our dies?
Our dies over here.
So if you are new here, we have our die that has all of our little topics. It's always growing and changing. If you have any topics or anything you want us to discuss, of course, you can always pop a comment or reach out to us on our Instagram, and we will we'll take it under advisement. No, I'm just kidding.
You may or may not see your topic.
That's right.
On here.
That's right. But
or
we do
specifically category, right? Because we want your topics. For the topic bowl, send in your topics. But if you want a whole category, you're free to absolutely put that in as well.
Absolutely.
You can do it.
No, you go. You go.
Okay. We are going to do... We need to... The advice column.
Okay. Advice column. Fantastic. Do you want to go first today?
I can go first.
Okay.
I can go first. So the first one I looked at was, so this is a kid who's 18 years old. And his advice that he was asking for was, hey, I'm having a midlife crisis 30 years too early. Right? So he's 18 and he's having a midlife crisis. And in the description, he says, like, you know, I'm a COVID baby. Meaning he went through his high school years at home, right? So he was doing the homeschooling, he was doing all these things, and now he feels like he has all this social anxiety and all this dread. And so I thought it was a perfect topic for us.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now, I'm going to pause because I can talk and talk, but I want to hear your thoughts first.
Yeah, I think this is so applicable for so many people, right? COVID or not. But I do feel for that generation that is going or went through high school or middle school or these really formative years during COVID, school wise, right? And I know it was hard for everybody. I mean, even the people that were quote unquote not impacted, everybody was impacted by COVID. So definitely don't want to make light of that. I will say though, if you look for shit, you will find nothing but shit. If you look for good, admittedly, sometimes you have to look harder. You will find it.
Oh, I like that.
And it is hard when there is so much of the negativity. I mean, again, I know everyone's like, yeah, turn on the news, right? Like if you watch the news every day, you will see nothing but negativity, nothing but all of that crap. So I think sometimes you have to look harder, and sometimes it is even just looking the other way. Don't watch the news for a few days. Give yourself a break from a few days, or stay off of social media for a few days. And I know you hear those things over and over again, but once you actually do that and you look around and try to focus on the good things, look for the positivity in your life, you do realize how much of it is out there, right?
Like that.
So I know there are some, like, I think of, I don't know if it's called Dodo or The Dodo, but I know there are, like, I love that news.
I watch them too.
Do you?
I do.
I love that because I could follow all these companies and news companies that share, you know, the relative news and breaking headline news and everything. Or I can follow things like the Dodo that share cute little puppy stories.
Animal stories.
Yeah. So I think sometimes you have to look, and it all depends about where you are in your life and what you're going through. And of course, I'm absolutely not saying just turn blinders on, right? I do think obviously knowing on what's going on in the world and current events is important if you are in a place where you can take it on. I think that's the other thing, is that you're going to go through so many phases in your life, especially 18-year-old. I'm speaking to 18-year-olds right now when I say this. Like, you don't have to be everything all at once, right? It maybe in a year, maybe in 6 months, you'll feel the mental bandwidth where you can take on and absorb more of those current events without it impacting you the way it feels like it is now. Yeah. So I think it's really hard. I can totally relate. I used to call them quarter life crisis. I would say, oh, I'm having a quarter life crisis. Midlife crisis sounded too far along in my life. But I completely can understand that. And I do feel for the people that went through those years, high school specifically, in COVID. Very hard. My youngest sister went through it. I do feel for that. It's really hard to try to enter the workforce right now. But every generation can say that, right? Every generation was like, oh, I graduated in this year. I was trying to enter the workforce in the recession, in the Great Depression, in the house. Exactly. Yeah. There's always something. And if you are looking for stuff to confirm that, you will find that. If you are looking for positive, you will find that as well.
I couldn't agree more. I love that. And I also think that it's a balance. I also am a big proponent of developing your hobbies, right? Going out and figuring out what makes you happy.
Oh, I love that.
Right? If all I had was work and my home life, and my work life was awful, then I think my life is awful.
Right.
I'm a big fan of having a hobby, right? And it doesn't matter. If you go and try an art class and you don't love the art class, that's okay.
Yeah.
Next time, go take a tennis lesson, take a Zumba class, take a dance class, right? Take something. And for those of you that are thinking like, well, I don't have all the money in the world to go be taking all these classes, like, YouTube some classes. It's finding things that bring joy into your life.
Yeah.
Right? And so if you don't have the means to be out there doing something, try to do something at home that's outside of your comfort zone, or just introducing something new into your life.
Yeah, I love that. Because it's easy not to. It's easy to stay in your comfort zone and not try anything new. But
this girl got me kayaking, and now I'm a kayaking junkie.
I love it.
Maybe soon to be a climbing junkie.
Oh my gosh, yeah, we just went rock climbing. My husband's been a rock climber for years. He got me into it the last couple of years, but we took Alex yesterday. And it was phenomenal. She did phenomenal, but it was so fun. It was so fun. But
It was.
rock climbing, kayaking, I love all of that.
Just get yourself out.
Those can be solo activities or those can be friend activities. So I think sometimes you have to literally physically pull yourself out of it. Yes. And just remember, no one's going to do it for you.
No one.
So
unfortunately,
unfortunately.
And the truth is, if you're out there and you find something you love, for example, when we were at that climbing gym, everybody was so nice. Like, you may find your community in the activity that you like doing.
Yeah.
And that's just going to be a win-win.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll go next. My advice is, how can I make my family understand why I didn't welcome a surprise birthday party while I'm caring for my 8-week-old as a first-time mom? Families can be clueless.
A little bit. Because they're so excited about the fact that you just had a baby, and they want to take care of you, and they want to celebrate you, and they all want to come together and see the baby.
Yes.
And, I don't have any children.
I don't have any children either. So we're going to give you our best unsolicited parent advice.
Yes. Yes. My sister had a baby that just turned 7 months. My nephew, obsessed with him.
Oh.
Hashtag love my baby Danny.
He's so cute.
Yes. And we have a baby Graham as well on her sister's side. But I would say, as the family member who was so excited about my sister having a baby, and it was the first baby, I totally could see the family feeling like it's coming from a place of love and celebration and nothing but positivity. However, I can also see how my sister would be like, hell no.
Yeah.
Like, don't come to my house. Don't celebrate this. Like, it's such an overwhelming process.
Right.
So something that you're going to hear, not just in any of the episodes you've already seen, but probably every other episode, it's about boundaries.
Yeah.
Having the space to tell your family, like, oh my gosh, I appreciate so much the thought that you had to celebrate me on my birthday. However,
don't do it again.
I need a little bit of space. I need a little bit of privacy because I'm just getting used to a lot of new things, and I just need a break. You got to give me a little bit of space.
Yeah. I wholeheartedly agree. I will say my number one piece of advice to you would be, if they threw you a surprise birthday party, they obviously did it from a place of love.
Yes.
So try to keep that in mind, even though you're thinking, how can they be so obtuse? How can they not pay any attention? And especially if you're the type of person that hates surprises on your best day. So you're just like, how did everybody miss this? Just know they did it. They did the effort. They did the planning. They did the thinking ahead, whole time thinking you were going to love this. So yes, they completely missed it. They didn't pay attention. They probably got wrapped up in their own excitement and missed the major glaring signs in front of them. But definitely still think it's appropriate for you to then say, hey, I didn't like this. I don't want to do this again. Here's why. And what's hard, I went on to kind of read the description, and she brought it up during the birthday party. She threw a tantrum during the birthday party. She was like, why did you guys do this? And I get it. I can't even say I get it, because again, I can't pretend I'm a parent, but it's like I'm putting myself in my shoes without the child, and I can absolutely understand.
If there was a lot going on.
You're in the moment, and it's like sometimes you cannot feign happiness. Sometimes you cannot put it on enough right now, or you're so overwhelmed. It's like it's like when you're so wound up, or you've had such a bad day that literally all it could take sometimes is a stranger or a friend or whatever, even casually being like, hey, you doing okay? For you to then cry, and then you can't rein it back in. You can't pull it back in because you were so close to tipping, and that just put you over the edge. So I understand that was probably the point where and again, hopefully your family understood that and allowed you to feel that. But I think that's exactly right. I think it's just about that communication, setting boundaries, explaining to them, and try to appreciate where they're coming from and being like, I appreciate all the time, money, effort that you put into planning this. Here's why I acted that way, and I hope you can understand. And it's family, right? Obviously, you must be close enough where they did it, where they planned it anyway. So they're going to understand. They're going to get over it. You're going to get over it. And you can be mad and upset about it for a while. Don't keep the baby from them or punish them or any of that stuff. It's not going to do any good for anybody. And you can set the boundaries and expectations for going forward.
I like that.
It's tough. Family can be so tough.
It can. It can. And I think a surprise birthday party is awkward at best.
Ugh.
I had somebody throw a surprise birthday party for me when I was 21.
You did?
I did. And it was very sweet. It was a very sweet gesture. They invited my whole family, their family, friends.
And you hated it?
I didn't hate it. But I definitely
didn't love it.
You know it. That's a good... I didn't love it. Everyone. Hopefully
you're close enough where everybody can just talk about it and get over it and move on. But God, birthdays, surprise birthday parties, they really hit or miss.
They are.
They're really hit or miss.
They're hard. I'm thinking of my sister and her having a baby. I mentioned that she didn't want, she wouldn't want it.
Yeah.
But she was actually quite the opposite. Whereas you met Andy.
Yeah.
So when you meet her,
I would have thought she would have hated anything like that.
Or having anybody around.
Yes.
Whereas she was the opposite. As soon as she had the baby, she was like, when are you coming over?
Oh.
Right? She wanted us to be around. She wanted us to, she wanted that family moment. It was really lovely.
It is lovely.
It was super lovely because it was unexpected, right? Whereas I think because we've known her for so long, we all thought let's give her space. Yeah. Let's not overwhelm her. And it was the opposite. She was like, everybody come. Everybody, let's rejoice. My baby's here. And it's just been such a pleasure to see my sister become a mom.
Oh my! I feel that.
Oh.
Both of our younger sisters they were pregnant at the same time. They had a baby a few months apart. Weird synchronicities. Danny just hit 7 months, right?
Yeah.
Just turned 7 months. Graham just turned 12 months, and he is the light of our lives.
Love.
I mean, oh my gosh, the love that we all have for this little tiny human. And it's amazing, and I know you'll understand this completely. It's amazing how a little snap video or picture can make you so happy, right? I remember the first time Drake, my brother-in-law, sent a video the first time after a million, but literally sent a video of him doing something. And I think it literally was waving or opening and closing his hands or whatever. And I showed everybody. I was like, oh my gosh, look at this genius. Look at this baby doing this. This is amazing. And I'm like, oh my gosh, he's not even mine. I can't believe that.
That's literally why I'm laughing, because I'm like, you hear all those things about new parents and you put your babies everywhere. I was like, It's not even my baby. And I will challenge people during meetings. I will be like, do you want to see the cutest baby? Because I know my nephew is the cutest baby that's ever been. So to the person asking for the advice, this
is
where
we're
probably
coming from.
what your family is feeling about you, about that baby. They're just so excited.
Yeah.
And I couldn't agree with you more. Yeah. Every time I get a picture of Danny, your
heart swells.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, I love that little human.
I know. But just to give you a different perspective, we just geeked out nonstop about our nephews.
Yeah.
That's probably what your family was feeling.
Exactly.
So I would say set your boundaries, but always remind yourself at how lucky you are to have a family that loves you so much, that wanted to throw that party for you.
Exactly.
And who's gonna love that baby that you brought into the world almost as much as you do.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Right?
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. It was from a place of love.
For sure.
Okay.
But set that boundary if you're not comfortable with it. My turn?
Your turn.
Okay. So I thought this was really interesting because the headline was, my old friend always asks me the same question. And I was like, I wonder what the question is.
Same.
Right? He talks about it a lot before he tells you what the question is and their ages.
Okay.
But basically he's like, and every time we talk, he asks me the same thing, and it makes me feel so bad because it makes me feel like I'm not accomplishing anything. And the question is, do you have a girlfriend? I I know. So apparently every time he talks to his friend, and the reason he feels so bad about it is because his friend is married and almost all their friends are married. And not to shade, because Oriana got married at 12. But I was shocked to learn, because I thought, okay, well, if they're all in their 30s,
right,
and all of them are married,
right,
and they're like, oh, do you have a girlfriend? Like, I get that, but for him to be feeling this kind of pressure at 24, like, is right.
Yeah.
Is right.
I have a lot of feelings about that.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Give
and
it
I
to me.
actually even you saying like when they're in their if they were all in their 30s, or you were assuming they're all in their 30s, you'd be like, okay, yeah, if they're all married. I even still think that is ridiculous.
That's
right?
true.
Such a
I think I was just more so surprised that they were all like
babies.
Babies.
Oh my gosh. I mean, and I agree. Like, I got married at 21 and I was like, what the hell was I thinking?
Just mixed up the 12. I'm sorry.
I love that so much. Yeah, I mean,
She's been with him since they were 12.
we have been together for a long time. How I hate that question. First of all, I hate that question. I hate
Because it implies that you need to find a significant other.
Exactly. And I more so even hate the question, do you have a girlfriend? Do you have a boyfriend? I remember my in-laws always asked my husband, we talked about this like years later after we were together at 12, but his dad would always say to him, are you seeing anyone? And I always afterwards, as an adult, I realized how much more gentle that approach is, right? Like, not boyfriend, girlfriend, just are you seeing anyone? And I always appreciated that. And I remember thinking, oh, if I ever have a kid, I'll make sure I always word it like that. Also, if I ever have a kid, I'm never freaking asking them, because it implies and instills in that individual, whether intentionally or not, that they need to be seeing someone, that they need a girlfriend, a boyfriend, whatever.
Otherwise, they're incomplete or
exactly,
or not doing something right.
Exactly. So I know we could go on about all of the inappropriate questions. Doesn't matter if it's your best friend, whatever. Say, are you going to have children? All of those questions, like, stop asking those questions. There are so many other things to talk about that person that matter besides what they're going to choose to do with their body, besides who they're dating, who they're seeing, whatever. So I hate that question anyway. But I also hate that your friend keeps bringing it up over and over again.
But I think that in our culture, it is too normalized to have somebody.
Yes.
It's like, it's the expectation. And I thought, well, maybe his friend doesn't know what else to ask. So they'll say, like, as part of the rigmarole of questions, like, oh, how you been? How's work? Are you seeing anybody?
That's exactly it. You know that person is not doing it with malintent. Society is absolutely set up in a way to make you feel that way. To make you feel like you're behind, that you're supposed to be with somebody by X age, that you're supposed to have children by X age. None of that is true. None of that is true. As you get older and mature, you realize how ridiculous all of those thoughts are. But I realize in the moment, you can't
help it.
Exactly. You can't help but compare. You can't help but feel like, why am I the only one not married when your whole friend group is married?
But at 24, though, you have your whole life ahead of you. Your whole life ahead of you to find the right person, if that's what you want, to find the right life, the right career, the right path.
Ridiculous that you have to explain yourself. Like, shit. If you want to be single,
be single.
It's
single.
Easier. It's way easier. It's way easier.
So much easier. I will say that relationship conversation is very similar in the aspect of having children.
Yes.
Right. Of having children, right? So when you reach your 30s and you haven't had kids, people are like, oh, well, is something wrong?
Yes. No, you are not asking that question. You should not be asking that question. Like, I hate it, and it's one of those things that until you have those experiences, you may not be doing it with malintent, but it's absolutely inappropriate questions regardless of the setting. Yeah, I hate that. And I especially resonate with the children. I mean, when we got married at 12, right? Everybody was like, oh my God, you're pregnant, right? Or you're having a baby, right? I mean, and then here we are 10 years later and 13 years later, whatever, no children. And everyone's like, okay, so now you can't get pregnant? Like, what's the issue there?
Like there has to be a reason for the decisions that you're making.
Yeah.
And the worst part is you could be right.
They don't need to tell you there.
There you go.
They don't need to tell you
They
that.
don't need to tell you that they have fertility issues. They don't owe you that explanation.
Like,
and who are you to think that you are owed that explanation?
That is not the casual question that you think it is.
Exactly.
If you are asking that question, you have missed the memo.
Absolutely. And let's take it a step further. What's going to be your response?
Yes.
When you're like, oh, you have children? No. Oh, you don't want kids? Are you having issues? Well, actually, like, I've spent $30,000, 7 IVF treatments, 3 miscarriages. Like, are you ready for that answer?
Was that the small talk question you wanted at this work dinner? Yeah.
Yeah.
Can we normalize asking, like, do you believe in aliens rather than do you want children?
Girl, you got me talking all day on aliens. All day. We can talk about aliens. Absolutely.
Oh
that was a good topic, actually.
Yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I liked it.
All right.
Okay.
Should we roll the die? We are back at topic poll.
We need a better die.
We need a better die. We need a better die. On the advice too, if you want to send in your question, anonymous advice piece, you can do so at advice@thegoodnightshop.com. We will read your question. Is it a question?
Or advice.
Or, yeah.
Whatever you're asking.
But you send that in anonymously. We won't read your names or anything. If you want to include your gender and female, or gender and female. If you want to include your gender and age, you can, but you don't need to. And you'll get to hear our thoughts on it, like you do for everything. Topics.
You go first.
Okay, fantastic. My topic today is around tattoos and piercings. Specifically,
Okay.
we both work in corporate America, which I know limits us, right? Dress code, everything else. We're professional women when we are professional women. And would you have more tattoo and piercings if you didn't work in corporate America, and or would you like to get more?
Oof. Okay. I definitely think that being in corporate America and being as ambitious as I am keeps me from getting very visible tattoos. My sister is covered, and so we went on a trip, and I was, going with the flow, and how, like, I think this is something. But little sisters have a hold on their big sisters. 100%. And so little sister. And so we go out, and she's getting a tattoo, and I was like, oh, I'll get a tattoo with you. And
Matching sister tattoos?
Yes. They don't match, but we got them at the same time. And I got it here because she's covered, right? Like, she's got both sleeves. She's got, right, the whole 9. And so I thought, well, I'll get it here because it's more covered and it's more hidden and blah, 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 blah. And I'm looking at her, and she's, forrada, she's covered. So I'm thinking, this is so
nothing.
This nothing, right? But then as soon as it went on my arm, I was like, I can't wear a short sleeve at work, right? Because I don't want that to be showing.
Oh.
And now I'm a little more conscious about it. And though I love my tattoo, I wish it was somewhere a little more hidden. So I do feel limited on the tattoo side of things. I wouldn't get my neck done. I wouldn't get my chest done, but I would maybe do my whole arm.
Yes.
I think I do love tattoos a ton, and I would get something very floral. Like, I'd love to have, like, a sleeve of, like, flowers and trees, and I don't know, probably super basic bitch. I get it.
I'm laughing because same.
I was like, I get it. Everybody has them, but I do. I love, like, especially, I love it. I love tattoos. I think they're fantastic. I think they're a beautiful expression of self. Piercings, I'm less into. I recently got my second piercing on my ear, and the only reason I did it was because I have this aunt that's just absolutely fabulous. She's one of my favorites. And my cousin, likewise, is like my older sister, and they were like, we're doing it. Do you want to do it? And I didn't even know we were doing it until we were at the mall walking into the Claire's.
Oh.
And they were like, oh, we're going to get a second ear piercing. Do you want one? And I was like,
Duh.
freaking peer pressure. And I was like, let's get it. So I have a second piercing. I wish I had the other one. I may still get it.
Yeah,
I don't think. Yeah, I don't think that is unprofessional.
No,
especially because it's so widespread.
Right.
So having 2 piercings in my ears isn't a big deal. Would I get my tongue or my mouth or my nose or no? I'm not big into piercings.
No.
And when I see people with like body piercings, like the ones that go here. It gives me the heebie-jeebies. It stresses me out. Yeah.
I just immediately think, is that getting snagged on everything?
Everything. My hair, I would find like little loose hairs like wrapped around it.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
So I'm not a big piercer. I love, your husband has the gauges and I think they look fabulous. I think they look great on him. But I don't think.
For you personally?
It's not my aesthetic.
Yeah. I totally understand that. My husband has a lot of tattoos.
You would not think her husband is her husband.
Neck, yes. That's what I always hear people, especially at a work function, when they're like, okay. Weird choice.
That's your husband.
We are polar opposites. But I will say, it's funny when people say that, because I'm like, well, we're really similar. It's just he's brave and I'm not, right? Like, if I did not work in corporate America, in a conservative industry, I would be a lot more heavily tattooed.
You think so?
I know so.
Really?
To the point where I'm like coming up with my exit strategy and I'm like, 55, I'll get them then.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
So you're going to be one of those old ladies with like fresh ink?
Oh, heck yeah.
I like
Heck yeah. I went to a tattoo convention recently.
The villain one?
Yes, the villain arts tattoo convention, and there were a lot of older people getting tattooed in there. And I absolutely and if I can get out, if I can retire sooner, great, fantastic, will do. But
we need this to take off.
Yeah, that's right.
And then she's gonna get covered in tattoos.
Like and subscribe. But yeah, so I at that convention got this wrist piece, right? And it's flowers. So basic. It's so white, basic.
It's so pretty though.
And I love it. Immediately was like,
what did I do?
What did I do?
I know it. I know it. Same thing.
My husband was giving me, he was laughing so much at me because he's got his knuckles, his hands, everything, and he does very good at work, right? It's all about the industry you work in. And so he is very successful in his own right. So it's hilarious that, and to be fair, no one has said anything. This is all in my own head, right? Like, in fact, managers at our company have sleeves.
Yeah.
I think it's our own
perception of what professionalism should look like.
That's exactly. I think it's old school conservative in our head, depending where you are. The role. Depending on the role.
For me, it's the customer facing.
Exactly.
For me, it's like, I don't want a customer to look at me and have that old school mentality and be like,
put off.
She may be a certified financial planner, but look at the decisions she's made.
Yeah.
Whereas I'm like, no, I'm really good.
Right.
Don't judge me by, my ink or whatever, my art. Like, I agree.
Which is stupid, really, because then I think, fine, it doesn't change how good I am at my job by you thinking that.
Yeah.
Right? And I used to get it. I was really young, right? Like, I am ambitious, was really career focused, all through my 20s. And so I used to get it on the flip side. I used to get that judgment. Like, I remember one customer telling me, I can't really take advice from you. Are you even old enough to own a credit card? And I remember being like so insulted because I had got my degrees. I had got my license. I had got my certifications. Like, I knew I had more financial knowledge than they did. But it didn't matter, right? At that point, I knew he wasn't going to trust me no matter what I said. And so I think, okay, they're always going to find something. There's always going to be a reason if someone doesn't want to work with you or whatever. So sometimes I think, I hate that it holds me back. But, I have my ribs, I have my back, and I'll get more. But I would be sleeved up.
You would.
I would be
Would
sleeved
you? Do you
up.
think you'd match up with D?
Absolutely not.
Okay.
No, mine would be floral.
No,
so
chica,
girly.
no, not. I would be like tat for tat.
No, tat for tat. No, because I don't think I could ever get. I would get a neck on my side, but I don't think I could get my throat. Like I could get maybe back here kind of thing.
That's a lot. I see. That's not my aesthetic.
See, but what about a cool floral sleeve and it
goes
comes
up?
up?
More?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. See the peer pressure.
Okay.
The peer pressure.
Peer pressure. So, side note, I worked with one of the prettiest men I will ever see in my life. When I worked for a bank, and he worked for a intermediary company or whatever, and he would come in and he looked like a GQ model.
Oh.
I mean, he was beautiful.
Get it?
Not hot, not sexy. He was beautiful.
I know what you mean. Yes,
right?
yes.
And he was tall. I mean, gorgeous. I mean, you wouldn't even want to cuss in front of this guy because
he was buttoned up.
So pretty and buttoned up. And one day we're talking, and he does something, and his sleeve comes up just enough. And I said, "You have tattoos?" He goes, "Oh, I have my whole body done except for my left leg." And I was like, "I'm sorry, what?" And he's like, "Oh yeah, I've completely covered my whole chest, my whole back, both my arms, and my right leg. The only thing I don't have tattooed is my right leg, or one or the other, right?" And it was because his tattoo artist told him that the skin is an organ and it has to breathe. And so they recommended that they leave one leg open.
Interesting.
I thought that was really interesting. I don't know that there's any validity or
Yeah.
truth to that, but that's why he had chosen not to tattoo that extra leg. But I remember thinking, I would have never thought that. He's so put together. He's so...
Did it change your opinion of him?
No. I thought he was sexier.
Amen. Amen.
I thought, oh my God.
There
Because
is
they would
nothing
be
sexier. I even find that about my husband. And now, of course, since he got his neck done and his hands, it doesn't work this way anymore. But I mean, my husband is sexy. I find my husband very sexy. But when
he will love this part.
He can never listen to it. I will never tell him he's sexy. When he is in a suit though, and he's got his hands tattooed and he's in a suit, I'm like, damn, you look sexy. I think the tattoos make him more attractive for sure.
I like tattoos.
For sure. But when you are cleaned up, professional, nice dress with tattoos, you're even sexier.
Yeah, because it's
you're oh, you're a bad boy.
You put yourself together.
Yeah. And that's why I laugh about my husband, who is, I mean, we he has,
I'm trying to remember what they say.
His knuckles say "live bold." My sister one time, my sister is hysterical. All of my siblings are funny, but she has a glass of wine and we're sitting laughing and everything, and she was like, "Do you ever feel weird about having your knuckles that say "live bold" and you work for blah?" And it's this, Fortune 100 company. And working corporate America, and it's funny because his thing says "live bold," so you're like, what are you doing with your life? Are you a pro skydiver or whatever? And it's nah, he works an office job. It's funny.
With all the promotions he's getting, he'll be fine.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying, though. It's so funny. He's so smart. He's really, really successful in his own. He's annoyingly intelligent. Again, I would never say any of this to him. But
I was he's going to love this episode.
It's so funny that I'll be I don't know why that episode, we never loaded it. Don't worry.
It got lost.
But it is funny. So... It's he says "live bold" or whatever, but again, I think about his interview when he first entered the company. His manager had dyed blue hair or whatever, so it's that bias is not going to be there, and he got lucky because unfortunately a lot of people would have seen his hands and knuckles and neck and everything and been like, "Oh, we're going to pass," right? It sucks. They would never admit it, but that is just the unfortunate truth of it. So.
And the biggest unfortunate truth is that had they made that judgment and not given him the job,
what a loss.
What a loss on their end.
Right.
Because he ended up being
so good. He ended up being so good. Yeah. And it's hilarious too, because like I think oftentimes you see guys like that. And when I say you, I mean me. When I see guys like that, I'm literally married to a guy, tattooed, all like that. And then when I see them, I'm still like, oh, I want to be like, I want to make sure they look darker, to your point.
Yes.
They look darker. Like you're just, so Donovan, who is just a gentleman through and through. But I mean, he is really cognizant of it. So he knows like when he's out walking the dogs, and we have pit bulls. So he will say like when he's out walking the pit bulls, especially when it's dusk and it's getting darker, if there's a woman running or walking alone, he will make sure he crosses the street to make sure he doesn't make that person individual, which is just like, you're just the cutest. He's so sweet. But he's like, I know people, I don't want to make anyone uncomfortable, especially women, especially when they're alone. He said so he will always make sure he like crosses the street in plenty of time just to make sure they don't feel at all weirded out. So, you know, bless them through and through. But anyway, piercings. I too just got my double piercing done. The whole reason I got it is because I was at a work conference and I saw somebody superior to me had 3 holes in each of her ears. And I literally thought, oh, it must be okay to do it.
Yep.
I am that much of a baby at work. So I got my second piercing. I forgot what a pain in the ass piercings are to heal.
The worst.
The worst. So much. I mean, with tattoos, 2 weeks, you're done, right? Like, I know you can't sit. People, please don't bombard me with that's not true, blah, blah, blah. I know, again, my husband, he's healed hundreds. I get it. Can't sit in a hot tub, all that stuff.
Currently is getting 8 hours worth of work.
That's where he is right now. Yes. So, I get, but piercings are so much more work. But I love them. I love my second hole. It's totally hashtag alt youth. You know, I know you don't even recognize me with my second hole.
I thought you were going to say hashtag second hole.
But again, when I don't work in corporate America, I want to get my septum done.
Girl, I gotta tell you, in your heart of hearts, you're a little gay.
Oh, I'm so
in your
gay.
Heart of hearts,
yes.
Like she has
bisexual energy through and through.
Through and through. She has the green suede couch in her bedroom.
Honestly, from my gay best friend, I'm honored.
You're a little gay. You're a little gay, girl. You are a little gay.
Yeah, I love the I'm very attracted to the females, the really feminine females with like a septum.
Like, I don't know that Florence Pugh, and I don't know that I'm saying her last name correctly, but you know who I'm talking about.
Oh,
the actress.
I love Florence.
Love her. And she is one of the few people that I have seen with that piercing.
She is
that I'm like,
sexy.
Damn, you are wearing
oh my god
earring.
She is sexy. Yes,
she is so
beautiful.
I
think I consider myself very much feminine, very girly girl. I would love, full face makeup and a septum. Love it. Love that look.
And all I can think is, you look like a cow.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Yes.
My sister has it, and I love my sister with my entire heart, but
I know what you mean.
I'm always like, take that off.
I feel that way about the Monroe.
What's that?
The one that's like piercing right here. My sister.
Mira, you just said that, and I felt it in.
You can feel. Oh my gosh! I always think it looks like a mole, and I just want to pick it off. I just want to.
Made me feel even worse. I'm telling you, those that are like stubs that come out of your body that don't like. You think like, where's the other end?
Yes.
Where's the ones that go here? Where's the other end?
Oh, I don't like it.
Is it just? Did you?
And my sister has all like she's all about the face piercings.
Would you get your girls pierced?
I wouldn't not. Like I'm not opposed to it.
I think
but
if I had prettier breasts.
Okay, I can feel that.
Like if I had one of those.
See, and that's the thing for me is I think after 13 years, I'm just not here to impress my husband, right? It is what it is. So I just think like no one's gonna see him but him, and he doesn't deserve that. He doesn't need extra bit. He loves them plenty.
There it is.
This
is why he's gonna love the episode.
Like, I don't need to throw a cute little, like, again, so girly. If I can have extra holes to put diamonds in, sure, why not? Add all the diamonds, all the prettiness. In fact, that was one of the big contributors that I wanted second holes for, because I love wearing earrings. I love wearing girly earrings and, big dangly. But my husband got me, I always wanted diamond earrings. And he got me these beautiful diamond stud earrings for Christmas last year. And I wanted to wear them. He did so good. And it meant so much to me. He knew I had wanted, and it was an extra. I know I've talked about it on here, but it's like I lost my dad. He just, diamonds cheer a girl up,
Girl's best friend.
So he got me these beautiful. So I literally was so bougie because I was like, I'm going to keep these diamonds in all the time. I need a second hole so I can still wear fun earrings.
I see nothing wrong with that line of thought.
I could do diamonds in the girls, but it's too much work. It's healing. It's effort. And it's like, he doesn't need it. And I still now go to work conferences, and I am surprised people, like my last conference last year, I met people with my role that have nose studs in.
Oh, I met somebody in your conference that I sneaked into. With an eyebrow
No
earring.
way.
And I was like, you must not be customer facing.
That's what I thought. I'm like, are we allowed to?
Yeah. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know the answer to that.
I don't know.
But
maybe this is just our conservative parents put this in our head, and maybe none of it is true.
Could be.
But I doubt it. It feels like it's true. It feels true.
It feels true. So for the girls, I think it's super sexy.
Yes.
When I see a girl and she's wearing a shirt and I can tell.
Yeah.
Right?
It's sexy.
I think it's sexy, but I think the quality of the breasts come into play.
See, and this is my thing too. It's like I'm too top heavy to go without a bra. So it's like, they'd be like, oh, you have your belly button pierced. And it's like, nah, bitch, when I haul it up, it's my nipple.
If they were happier, maybe.
Right. But they'd be like, oh, yeah, some dermals in your stomach or something, Like, they are not saying. So, again, by the time anybody realized, like, it's just nobody would see them but my husband. I have to wear bras. The unfortunate truth is I have to wear bras. If I had cute little perky whatever.
That's what I mean. If they
hell
were like,
yeah.
saying hello to the world.
Yeah.
Like, hello.
Good for you. Pierce
I'd give them a little extra.
Yeah.
But otherwise.
Oh, I think the same thing about down there. How painful.
No.
Oh, never. I could never.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. When I was with my husband one time in a tattoo shop getting his work done, a woman was in there getting her hoo-hoo pierced. And I could not. I mean, I wanted to scream for her. First of all, did
you hear her?
Not
Did
a private
she scream or anything?
Not at all.
It wasn't a private room?
She kept... Not a private room. It had one of those, like, dividers.
No. No.
And dividers. And my nosy ass was, like, looking through the slates, like, what's going on in there?
Oh, I would have been like...
And she's up. She's laying. She's got, like, her legs in sternum, like, stirrups.
OBGYN.
Like the doctor.
Like OBGYN.
Yes, OBGYN, like spread eagle. Makes sense. Makes sense.
I mean,
and
you're going to want them to have space.
And she was in her 40s or 50s.
Midlife crisis.
And
But
I was
why
just
that?
like, I know. That's what I literally thought. I'm like, do you have a lot of sex? Is this supposed to enhance your orgasms?
That's what I was wondering.
I have all the questions. No judgment.
No.
I just wanted to know. Like, I was so curious. I wanted to talk to her so bad. And she just kept talking to the tattoo artist or the piercer throughout the whole session. And he was just like, okay, take a breath and then breathe out. And then she was like, okay. And then literally kept talking. Like, didn't even mention or comment how. And I was like, I am screaming right now for you.
Your next one.
I agree. Do you want to keep going?
I know. This episode has been a little bit longer. We are going to cut it. I think we can cut it here.
I think it would be good. Yeah?
I think it would be good.
Awesome. As a reminder, if you want to follow along with our playlist, you can find our Goodnight Shop playlist on Spotify. You can also email in your advice questions for us at advice@thegoodnightshop.com. And I'm Nori.
I am Alex.
And you can find us on Instagram at The Goodnight Shop.
We will see you next time.